Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, President Trump, he is getting praise from an unexpected source. One of his major nemeses, the fake news outlet known as CNN, aka Communist News Network, well, they are saying nice things about him for a change. Well, how about that? But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. CNN has been one of the most egregious actors in the entire media space when it comes to dishonest and deceptive framing of the Trump presidency. They have pushed relentlessly hoax after hoax, fake news story after fake news story, and Donald Trump has almost always been in the target of these hit jobs. One of the fake news journalists who is finally speaking out and saying some good things about Donald Trump for a change is Caitlin Collins. She sat down for an interview and she revealed one of the good things that she likes about Donald Trump and his presidency. And we're going to break this down, but let's watch the clip first.
It's different because Trump is such an accessible president that, like, if he's just swearing in the ambassador to Greece, like, typically that wouldn't be a newsworthy event if President Biden or any typical president was probably doing it. But Trump's moments, anytime the camera's around and the reporters are around, it can turn into a press conference. And so you never go into the Oval thinking, oh, this is going to be a quick, we call them sprays. It's where you go in, basically a photo op, and then you leave. Because Trump will swear someone in and then he'll turn to you and say, you know, any questions? And he'll take maybe questions for 45 minutes. And so you have to, like, I always keep a running list of questions on my phone.
Okay.
Because you never know when you're going to run into him or when he's going to start taking questions. And so you can't just have one or two. Like, you have to have like 10 ready to go.
Because you said the word typical president, right? Not your typical president. Typical president was swearing in someone from Greece, like we would know. Is that because of predictability?
So Trump is my first president that I ever covered. And I covered Biden as well. And so I can compare it to him. But even with President Obama, you know, there are these moments in the Oval Office that everyone has come to know because you see them on TV so often.
Right.
But when you speak to reporters who covered President Obama, he almost never responded to shouted questions. It wasn't his thing. He didn't, you know, he would have his moments with world leaders and then you would leave the Oval. Trump kind of upended that when he came into the White House. And sometimes presidents are press averse. Trump embraced the media. I mean, he did it for decades as like this New York mogul.
Sure.
And so he just had a different approach to the press and always has, you know, long before taking office. Most politicians are not very press savvy. It kind of depends on who it is. I think Trump always understood the value of a camera and a microphone.
Interesting. Donald Trump. That's right. He's a man of the people. He's a populist. He believes in representative government. That's why he's always out among the people. He is giving big public appearances time after time, week after week. He's accessible to the press. He sits down and talks with reporters. He lets them ask questions, often in a hostile and misleading way. He gives as good as he gets. And that is one thing that you don't see out of the Biden era, where Joe Biden, he dodged the press. He was not accessible. And now we know in the aftermath there's good reason for that, because he wasn't running the show. He was not looking to represent the American people. He had an elitist cadre around him, protecting him, often ushering reporters out of the room when they asked annoying or inconvenient questions. And you can even go back to the Obama administration. Barack Obama was often aloof. He was elitist, and in some ways he was looking to push an agenda that didn't represent the totality or even the plurality of the American people. So that one thing you could say about Donald Trump is he does believe in representing the views of the American people. That is the only reason he won his elections, because he won despite 90 to 95% negative coverage from outlets like CNN. So it seems like we're pushing into the second year of the second term of Trump's presidency, and CNN can be slightly honest about the Trump presidency and have some begrudging praise for the President of the United States. Of course, they won't praise his border policies or his anti-crime efforts in blue cities around the United States, but you'll take what you can get. And this is a good case of where CNN attempts to be reasonable and unbiased, but admits the truth, at least a tiny sliver of it. And that's apparently all it takes for some of its viewers to falsely believe that it's an objective news network. It is not. It is still fake news, CNN. So weigh in with your comments. What do you think about what Caitlin Collins had to say? Do you agree with her? And compare Donald Trump to past presidents. I think he's been the most accessible ever. So thank you for watching Explain America.